How's it going, guys? Welcome to a new video by Rider Infusion, here to infuse you guys with some good content, or at least that's the hope. And I feel like every video that I start off with, I have police in one of my first clips. Guys, we're going to be talking about what it's like to daily ride your motorcycle to work, to school, to whatever. What it's like to daily ride a bike. And I'll be talking about some of the positive things that come along with it, and I'll be talking about some of the negative things that come along with it. Really, just for anyone that perhaps is thinking about getting a bike that they just want to use on a daily basis. Hopefully this video can give you guys some insight as to what it's like. Everything that I'm going to talk about, or mostly everything, is really going to be dependent on where you live. There's some areas, depending on where you are in the world and the country, depending on the weather that you have, it's going to differ. If you live in a place that has better weather overall, it'll be easier. If you've got long and hard winters, it's going to be harder. So keep that in consideration with wherever it is that you plan on daily riding. Just know that it will 100% affect what you are able to do. So for me, I live in the state of Florida. I'm in Southwest Florida, and the weather year-round here is 100% rideable. I mean, I ride my bike during the summer months, even when we have, the rainy season that comes along. I ride my bike during the winter time when it is cold. Like this morning, it's about 60 degrees here, and I know some of you guys think that's stupid, but when you've lived in Florida for long enough, 60 degrees is chilly, all right? Well, I think the first thing that would be on that list of why it's great is because motorcycling is fun. Like, if you love to ride, you'll know what I'm talking about. Sitting on a bike is just a lot funner for me than it is to, be sitting in my car and driving. Like, I would pick being on the bike anytime over being on the car in terms of the fun factor. Now, something else that some people also consider is gas mileage. Bikes are typically more fuel efficient than your average vehicle. So that's something to consider. If you do ride a bike and if you're not heavy on your throttle, then yeah, you can get pretty darn good gas mileage. This right here, what I'm riding, this is a 2024 BMW S1000R, and my commute, well, I don't have a typical commute. I always travel to different places for work, but usually if I'm doing city/highway riding, I will easily get anywhere in between 40 to 45 miles per gallon. Now, are there cars that do that well? Yes, absolutely, but again, they're not as fun to ride as it is to be on this bike. So the next thing on the list of positives for riding a bike daily would be easeability or maneuverability. I don't know. I mean, again, this kind of depends on your commute, but for me, it's easier getting in and around other vehicles on the road. You are a very small object on the road, so changing lanes, you need less space than you do on a car. Maneuvering around traffic is definitely easier on a bike than it is on a car. Now, that's not to say that I'm encouraging, lane splitting and just doing obnoxious things on your bike just to get through traffic. No, I do not stand for that. But, within safe measure, it's 100% faster and easier to move on a motorcycle through traffic than it is on a car. Another part of what makes motorcycling great for daily riding is the fact that parking is a breeze. Parking is so easy. Parking is so simple, man. You don't need a lot of space to park your bike. Pulling up to parking lots or whatever it is, you can usually get up closer to wherever it is that you need to go. And overall, I mean, it's easier. The whole parking situation is just a heck of a lot easier. So that's another positive. And I think there are more positives that I could talk about. I'm just kind of coming up with this stuff sort of on the fly as I'm writing and thinking about them. If you have any more positives, let me know. Put it down in the comment section below. I'd like to hear your input as well. Diving into the negatives of daily riding a motorcycle, and for for someone that lives in Southwest Florida, as I've already mentioned, when it is summer and the rainy season, it can be difficult to actually ride daily to avoid the rain. Like, you can't work, you can't stay out past a certain point in time during the day, because if you do, you're going to run into rain. And so you got to kind of pick and choose your days and your times of when you do go out and ride. It's possible, it's doable. Like, I rode all of last summer, and I might have had maybe 3 times or 3 days where, I've got hit with heavy rain on my commute, but that's just something you got to deal with. Rain is an issue. Not only does it just become more dangerous to ride your bike when it is wet outside, but it's also just not fun. I mean, not for me, it isn't. And then there's also the aspect of having to clean your bike afterwards, which I'm more of a clean freak when it comes down to how I keep, this bike, or how I've kept my cars or whatever else. I like my things clean, and, if I'm back after riding in the rain, the cold cleaning aspect of it kind of sucks for sure. All right, more negatives. What else is there? There is, there's no control over heat and cold. I mean, you have to dress for the weather. You can't just, turn up the heat, close your windows, or turn up the AC. It's just that's the price that you pay, I guess, for riding a bike daily. And another negative to daily riding your bike would be that you are ultimately putting on more miles on your bike, and more miles means you are putting yourself in more situations where you're surrounding yourself with a million cars, and that is more dangerous than it is to be on a car. Now, this is why I make the videos that I make here on YouTube, and they are all mostly safety and defensive riding related. So if you're not subscribed and you want to get into that, make sure you do it. But, you want to ride safely to be able to enjoy daily riding and actually have a decently long future in it. Otherwise, if you're not careful, if you're just obnoxious on your bike and you're always speeding, you're always cutting through traffic, whatever, gosh, man, it could be short-lived for sure. Sometimes people get lucky and they go on with it for a while, but sometimes people don't. So that's something to keep in mind. Daily riding your bike, it is going to be more dangerous than it is or would have had been if you were on a car. Oh, wow, look at that tire just sitting there. Man, that is why you have to have a good following distance between you and whoever it is that's in front of you, man. Like, man, that would suck. That would suck coming up on a tire like that. If you're following close to a vehicle that's in front of you and just the last second it pops up right there in front of you, I mean, at this speed, and if you're following close, there's nothing that you're going to be able to do to avoid a tire like that. You're going to hit it, and I mean, pray that you don't crash. I mean, that could be really, really ugly. All right, what else? What other negatives? Well, there's the negative of space. You're not able to carry as much stuff with you on your bike as you would if you have a car. You got a trunk on a car, you got space on the inside, you could throw stuff on or into. On a bike, you're very limited in space. And so that's another aspect, another part of it to consider if you are considering daily riding a bike is, and I guess that would also dictate on the type of bike that you get, whether it's got to be more of a cruiser, bagger type bike, or, whether a little tail tidy bag is going to be enough for you on the back of your, street bike, of your naked bike like this one is here. So you got to definitely think about that in terms of, what you could or will be carrying, and if you're going to have enough space for it. So definitely take that into consideration if you're considering riding your bike on a daily basis, or if you're just thinking about buying a bike to ride on a daily basis. Now, I don't know, other negatives, I can't really think of anything else. I'm sure there are more negatives to this list, and please feel free to add them down in the comment section below for whatever you think are more negatives to daily riding your bike. But really, for me, the positives and just the joy and the freedom that you get, that I get from riding a bike, far outweighs all of the negatives that I have mentioned. Now, granted, I'm able to, first of all, have a flexible schedule with the business that I own. I don't need to carry a lot of stuff for when I do ride my bike on a daily basis, so that's not a problem for me. So if it'd be different for you, then, it'd be a different situation. But for me, the positives of just riding a bike and just the freedom, the joy, the air that I get blown on me, and just the fun factor of riding a motorcycle far outweighs riding or driving a car. Traffic is coming to a quick stop. Slow down, make sure you're checking your mirrors that everybody from behind you is also stopping. This is I-75. You guys headed north on I-75. For those of you guys that are local to Florida, you know that this road, this freeway, is notorious for some really heavy speeders sometimes. People really fly on this road. It's a pretty dangerous interstate, honestly. You got to really be on your toes out here. So my final conclusion with everything that I've said, for me personally, with where I live, with the type of work that I do, and me being able to have a flexible schedule, I absolutely love riding my bike on a daily basis, going to work, and not even just to work. I'll sometimes go to the grocery store and I'll just, throw whatever I can fit into that tail tidy bag and head home. It's convenient. I love it. I love riding bikes. I love two-wheeled machines. And I think for anyone that appreciates two-wheeled machines will come to understand that the positives definitely outweigh the negatives. It's just, if you're considering daily riding your bike, you just have to consider, weather. You just have to consider what you're going to be carrying. And, if you live in a place like me, can you dodge the rain? That can be a problem sometimes. So yeah, just wanted to make this video as I am headed to work, and wanted to share the insight as to what it's like to ride a bike daily. It's absolutely fun. You got to be safe on them, and the positives outweigh the negatives by far. Guys, thanks for watching this video. If you have anything you want to add into the comment section, please feel free to do that below. Give this video a like, a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and I will see you guys on the next video. Do remember that there's a new video coming out every Tuesday and Friday with short video uploads in between. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. Peace.